The semifinals of the 2021 Premier Volleyball League Open Conference is set. On one side, we have the defending champions, the Creamline Pool Smashers, entering the semis as the number 1 seed, going up against the PETROGAZZ Angels, who are the number 4 seed. And on the other side, number 2 seed Chery Tiggo Crossovers will go up against the number 3 seed, the Choco Mucho Flying Titans. Again, this is Volleyball DNA analysis. Welcome to everybody on the show. If you haven't subscribed yet, hit the subscribe button to officially join the experiment right here on Volleyball DNA. And to break down the matchups that will happen in the semis or the Final Four, we bring back a man who I'm going to start calling our Volleyball Scientist. Volleyball Scientist because he's not just a coach, he's not just a manager and official. You know, he's all rolled into one. So our volleyball scientist, Coach Santi Edralin, is back on Volleyball DNA. Coach, maraming salamat again, and glad to have you back here to break down the semifinals.
Anton, actually, honestly, I never thought that we'd work together in 1 week, three times. So I'm very thankful. I'm very, very thankful to be here.
Why not, Coach? Lagi naman tayo nag-uusap habang pinapanood yung mga laro. So, you know, why not share our conversations to everybody? And you guys also, we love the opinions and your own analysis as well that you've been sharing in the comment section. So, maraming salamat, guys. Keep it coming. And let's all enjoy PVL together as we enter the home stretch. All right, let's talk about the first matchup in the Final Four. The Creamline Pool Smashers, the defending champions, 8-1 ang kanilang kartada in the team standings. They play the PETROGAZZ Angels. 6-3 was their record. Let's start with Creamline. Coach Santi, kindly lay it down for us. What is Coach Santi's keys to victory for Creamline?
Okay, so first of all, I'm very thankful then. Now, so far, my prediction is still running. So Creamline's on top. They haven't lost since we talked about it. Mm-hmm. And then number 1 siguro is the cool smashing of the big 3.
Ooh.
Alyssa, MG, and Super Sub Tots. Of course, Pangs and Risa will always be there. And that's number 2. Mm-hmm. No, the middles. What's great really about the middles of Creamline is Panaga, Sato can spike, can block, and then can serve tough. That's why they're difficult. They're hindi lang sila Alyssa, MG, and Tots and Gemma ang nagsiserve ng tough, but even their middles, they can serve tough. Lalo na si Sato, diba? And they place their serves well, and they're tough to receive. And then third siguro is to mix up their plays. Everybody's seen what they can do. So most of the teams have their own stats. They have their own player tendencies. So I think now they need to mix it up. May mga plays ng Creamline na hindi pa nakikita ngayon eh. So it's something that I think is crucial when they play PETROGAZZ in the Final Four, and even to the finals, since sinabi ko na they won't lose.
Yep. If they win the next 4 matches, grabe, Coach Santi Edralin, saludo talaga ako sa'yo. If that happens, that's the prediction that continues to hold true as of this moment right now. Coach Santi, looking at the statistics of the Creamline and PETROGAZZ match, which by the way happened very early in the season, and you know, when it happens early in the season, you want to be the team that racks up those wins kasi mahirap yung naghahabol ka like what happened to Santa Lucia.
That's right.
They missed the Final Four bus. What you were saying, those keys to victory that you brought up, yun yung ginawa nila in that game against PETROGAZZ. The big 3, Alyssa Valdez, her numbers were stellar, 16 points. Michelle had 12. Tots Carlos had 7, but she only played in 2 sets during that elimination round match against PETROGAZZ. And then you mentioned, of course, the middles. Panaga, grabe, 15 points in that match. Sato had 11 points. And then the third, they have to mix up the plays. Gia is G-amazing. She's gonna do what she's gonna do. So I totally agree with your analysis for Creamline. Anything more that you wanna add, Coach? Is there something na baka hindi natin ini-expect na pwede pang mangyari for the Cool Smashers?
I think with the Final Four, heating up, it's gonna be everybody's gonna watch sa internet tapos na Olympics, and ito na yung next, di ba? Ito na yung nag-excite sa atin, ito na yung bumubuhay sa atin. I think everybody's really expecting that Creamline will win, not just because of all these things, but yung championship experience nila is gonna be there. It's gonna come out. No? I think when they met some of the teams who were in the bottom 5, they still respected them. They didn't take them lightly. So ngayon, I think what we're gonna expect sa Creamline is what we will always see, their championship composure, their attacks, their attacks. They will overwhelm their opponents with attacks. That's the design of their team. That's the design.
All right. So it seems that Coach Santi is expecting much of the same. I mean, if it ain't broke, why fix it, right?
Yeah.
Diba? So they're number 1 right now, so they're gonna keep doing what they do, and they are the champions. Unless you beat them, then they're gonna keep doing and applying the same formula that they have to continue winning. All right, let's move on to the next team. The team na makakalaban nga ng Creamline, itong PETROGAZZ Angels. Now, in their 3 losses, they lost to Creamline, they lost to Chery, Tiggo, and Chocomucho, the teams that are here in the semifinals. And you've got some explaining to do, Coach Santi Edralin, because you were very high on this team.
Yeah.
PETROGAZZ, you were confident that they would enter the semis as the number 2 seed. What do you think? Why do you think that did not happen?
Okay. For one, I think their games against these teams were close. With Creamline, it was 4 sets, but the scores were like 24-26, diba? 28-26, 25-22, ganun. Ganun yung mga scores nila. And that means they're really capable, no? And if I already mentioned before na their arsenal is almost the same. Yeah. Pablo, Ces Molina, and Gretzel. And then when you look at they're interchangeable parts. At some point, Gretzel was at the opposite already. At some point, it was Myla Pablo hitting on the opposite. Because sa Chocomucho, they were trying to hit it to either Dina Wong or go through Arocha. So, I think that's why Arocha cramped eh. Kasi they were always going through her. So, I think the reason why they didn't make it to the
top two
sa number 2 is because they failed to get the points from Myla and Gretzel. Gretzel was doing superb on the floor defense. She was manning it, no? And then yesterday you saw it naman when they subbed their players, sila Jessie De Leon, sila Ivy Perez. Gretzel stepped up. Diba? Nag-score, bigla siya nag-rack up ng points. So, sabi ko, that needs to be addressed, no? Na the two of them need to play together and score, no? And then, si Ces Molina has been consistent. Although minsan, mawawala in their losses. But I already mentioned also previously, Anton, that the opposite hitters really need to produce. Yan yung yan yung the whole season. Talagang it's when you activate the middles, it's going to be the opposite hitters who's really going to benefit.
All right, and I agree with that because in the match against Creamline, Gretzel and Myla Pablo only scored 6 points each, and you cannot expect to win if your top gunners don't produce. All right, but if they were to win, if they were to somehow win and topple the defending champions, what would Coach Santi's keys to victory be for PETROGAZZ?
Okay. They need to continue to capitalize on their middles. Rian Meneses, to me, by far, I hope nobody disagrees, is the number 1 middle blocker out of the whole season. Siya yung nag-perform talaga and surprised everybody. Spikes, blocks, and that was key, no? Though nawala si Gretzel sa points, tsaka si Myla, Ria Meneses was able to man the net, no? Together with Palma. So if they continue that blocking and attacking, then that would be one of the keys to victory, to beating Creamline, no? And then second, Gretzel and Myla should be full tank on those games.
They have to
gas. They have to gas up their points, you know, as in 15 at least 15 each or close to that. And then third, the guys who are manning the floor defense, Catarado and Soltones, need to pass well. Because if it doesn't reach Chisaet, and it reaches 4 sets, 5 sets, I noticed that either third, fourth, fifth, si Ivy Perez na yung nagsaset. And I think though Ivy is tall, that's an asset, but I think they're better off with cheese sets. So those three things, no, Soltones and Myla scoring 15, Ria Meneses and Palma doing the same things that they're doing, double figures, and then blocking and spiking, plus the passing of Catarado and Soltones.
Coach, I have something to say about that comment of yours na Ria Meneses is the #1 blocker in this season, but we're gonna get back to that later on after you give your prediction for this series. So, Coach Santi, our volleyball scientist, what is your prediction for this Creamline PETROGAZZ series?
I think Creamline will win in 2 games. Creamline in 2 games because their arsenal is too much. Their arsenal, it's too much. It's too much for PETROGAZZ. Otherwise proven. But unless PETROGAZZ shows up, I think Creamline will win in 2 games.
And of course, you want to stick to your prediction that Creamline won't lose anymore. The reason why sinasabi po natin yan, kasi may mga nagtitweet pa rin sa akin na kung twice to beat ba ito or kung best of 3. So best of 3 po. So ayan po ang prediction ni Coach Santi, Creamline in 2. Alright, let's move on to the other series. And dito tayo babalik sa sinabi ni Coach Santi na Ria Meneses is the #1 blocker in the PVL. But what about the Chery Tiggo crossovers, Jaja Santiago? Isn't she the #1 blocker in the league, Coach? Or are you just highlighting Ria Meneses because of how she elevated her game and made some noise?
Yeah, I agree. No, she elevated her game, Ria Meneses, but kasi the things that she did was not expected. So if you saw her also in the previous league, she won also best middle blocker in the whole league. So I think she carried it here, and now, of course, scoring 17. I looked at it, no, 17 points, 16 points. I think the last time we spoke, it was hindi siya bubaba ng 10. You'll, as a coach, you'll be happy na may 9, 10, 11 points ka sa middle mo eh. But to get that consistently for a whole, what do you call that? Whole season, 10 games or 9 games, that says a lot, no? So, but of course, no, Jaja will be Jaja. I think, parang yung sinabi ko kay Eliza will be Eliza, and then Jaja, 20 points, that's kind of normal. So that's expected of her. But this one really surprised us a lot, and I think she deserves to be the #1 middle blocker.
Jaja Santiago, though, finished the elimination round with a total of 143 points. So that's behind Eliza Valdez, who finished with 164 points. So the MVP voting and computations are going to be very interesting. I think Jaja and Eliza are clearly the leaders in that category. So Chery Tiggo is going to play against Chocomucho. Coach Santi, kindly lay it out. Keys to victory for the Chery Tiggo crossovers.
Okay, so I want to call it Chery Tiggo's Chery on top. Okay. Chery on top. Blocking ni Jaja, Din, and Micah Ortiz will be very, very crucial. It will slow down everything and allow them to set up again their middles. And then once their middles are set up, Paat will have a high scoring game, a double digit game. Second is serves. When they serve tough, they put the other team in an out of system, and then their blockings will be set, and that's really going to be an easy ball game. Wala kang middle, di mo ma-activate. Pagdating sa wings, nandun yung matatangkad mo, si Dindin, si Mylene, si Maika, si Jaja. So it's really gonna be easy. And lastly, I think what they can really put to their advantage is their mixing up their players. They can really mix up their lineups. They can mix up their, if one is not playing well or subpar, they can sub somebody else who's equally as good. So they can put Mylene Paat in the outside hitter. If you notice, pagka nagsaserve siya, nakalagay outside hitter siya eh. So now she's in the opposite. So that's kind of tricky, diba? Parang saan ba talaga siya gagawin? So kung magma-match up ka as a coach, sino ba ilalagay natin dito? Parang ganun. So yeah. So those three things.
Alam mo, Coach, looking back, kasi itong Chery Tiggo, they started the season 3-2. And then they ended up winning their next 4 matches. So imagine if they did not lose against Balipure, and they won 3 straight sets against Santa Lucia after going down 0-2. They should have been the number 1 seed. So do you think like they're peaking at the right time, or they're fine at the number 2 spot, Coach Santi? What do you think?
I think of all the teams, I think they're the ones who really trained really long, no? So siguro yung first two games or yung two losses na yan was really parang just an asterisk, no? Parang Balipure just really surprised them.
Surprised everybody.
Surprised everybody. And then but Santa Lucia just really had a superb game that day, diba? You didn't expect na they switched it, and then when they switched it, nag-click. So I think they should be higher than they're supposed to be, pero I think this is fine. They're peaking at the right time. They probably were adjusting pa nga to everything, to the bubble, to their teammates, no? They added a lot of people, right? They added a lot of and they had the new coaching staff, new managers. So those things, no, they play also a role in the performance of a team.
Chocomucho also added a lot of people, and we did not see the real game of Chocomucho during their first matchup against Chery Tiggo. Magkakaalaman sa Final Four, semifinals. But for you, again, Coach Santi, what are the keys to victory for the Chocomucho Flying Titans?
Yeah, I call it Remember the Titans. Okay. Remember the Titans. Why? Because we always talk about the core being from Ateneo, and they're all under Coach Oliver or Coach Tai, who have UAAP championships under their belts. But let's not discount the fact that Regina Arocha and even Ebuen have multiple championships in the NCAA. So I think that's why they were easily brought in the mix, no? Kasi they know how to play high-level volleyball. So, kaya tawag ko na Remember the Titans. Kasi they're all Titans in their same right. In fact, sabi ni Coach O, diba, sa article, our Titan of the day is Regina Rocha.
Yeah.
So, yan. Of course, they're big three. No?
Big three.
They're big three.
Yung literal na big three. Kat, UDL, and Maddie.
Sila talaga yun eh. Big three. Of course, their usual numbers from Kat Tolentino. Maddie and Bea, Madzilla needs to really come out this series. Lalo na it's with Jaja. This is a great matchup. I was looking at the games, no, specifically yung games ni Maddie. Even though she was not scoring, I think she was doing her job to set up her to set up her teammates na mawalan ng isang blocker yung wings nila. And if you notice, diba, when you're a middle blocker, you're gonna block, then you're gonna go back, and then you're gonna do a quick attack. Si Maddie and Bea are doing it so flawlessly, so easily, parang no effort. Ang ganda nung transition nila from defense to offense. So I think that would be very, very crucial, no? Na especially that Jaja is there. I remember, I forgot which game, pero parang ang kulit parang yung PETROGAZZ game, pinapadaan nila kay Maddie tsaka kay Bea. They can't get through them. Talagang they were blocking, no? So they were blocking really well. So I think that's key, yung big three. Number 2, their floor defense needs to be consistent from start to finish. Kasi napansin ko parang their floor defense is good first set, second set, then parang pababa na siya sa third set, fourth set. Ganyan. So maybe they're relying on their blockings too much, or talagang ang titindi lang talaga ng mga attacks ng mga kalaban. But I think their floor defense led by Denden, and also the other libero is Dusaran, diba?
Yeah. Dusaran, yeah.
Oh, and then Ponggay Gaston has been I think stepping up also her defense, no? So it just has to be consistent. Hindi pwedeng parang from start lang. So expect that the Chery Tiggo games, no, will be not straight sets games, no. It will be 4 or 5 sets. And so they have to continue. Then lastly, no, they have to find a way to hide their weaknesses. And what I mean by that is that the top 4 teams have strong opposite hitters, and if it's gonna go through them, they have to have a strong blocker or blockers in that area, or pwede nilang just really find a way on how to cover that, no? Kasi if they have Mylene or even si Ces Molina or si MG, makakatapat nila, diba? O kung sila yung papasok sa finals, that would be something na important. And I hope, no, Regina Rocha is not seriously injured yung cramps niya, kasi she'll be very, very important dun sa team, no? Sa team.
I think she'll be ready. I mean, she suited up in the last match against Chery Tiggo, although she wasn't fielded in by Coach O. But she did say in the interviews with Sir Joey Villar that cramps lang. And
that's good to hear.
Yeah, that's good to hear. And also, you have to understand that this week they played 4 matches.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's a killer. And in comparison to Chery Tiggo, they only played 3 matches. Right. And I think they had a 2-day break in between one of their matches. So clearly, Chery Tiggo, in terms of who was more rested, they were more rested as compared to Choco Mucho. But once the semifinals start, magkakaalaman na, it will be the clash of the Titans. So tingnan natin kung ano mangyayari pag binangga ng mga crossovers yung mga Titans na yan. But Coach Santi, eto na. This is gonna be so hard. I know it's gonna be tough for you, but I'm gonna have to ask for your prediction here. Who will win this series and in how many matches?
Sige. Choco Mucho versus Chery Tiggo.
Ay, hindi. Akala ko Choco Mucho.
Wait. I'd go with Chery Tiggo in 3 games.
Wow, Chery Tiggo in 3 games. How tough was it for you to come up with that?
It was hard. Kasi wala kang basis today, di ba? There's no basis today. So
tama.
And then I just looked at some of the stats and the strengths and the weaknesses, and then of course the consider ko rin, syempre Coach O will be competitive, diba?
Yeah.
So I think the experience, and diba we said, although I didn't say na best middle blocker si Jaja, I think she's the MVP. So
yeah. You did say that in our previous conversations here on the channel, Coach. And yeah, it's gonna be interesting. I mean, you have Kat also lurking in the midst of that MVP conversation. But yeah, top two in terms of scoring, you have Eliza and Jaja Santiago. But yeah, Ria Meneses, I mean, she really reminded everybody of how good she is, how good of a player she is. So
Yeah.
So there you go, guys. Ayan ang predictions ng ating volleyball scientist, Santi Edralin. Kayo, ano ba ang mga predictions nyo? Do you think PETROGAZZ might come up with an upset and beat Creamline? Do you agree with Coach Santi's prediction of Chery Tiggo going to win in 3 matches against Choco Mucho? What do you think unexpected or unforeseen? Baka may mangyari ba sa semifinals? Let us know. Make some noise on that comment section below and hit that subscribe button. And again, Coach Santi, again, thank you so much for joining us here and breaking down everything on the show.
Thank you, Anton.
All right, I'm sure you and I are going to be talking even more as we enjoy the semifinals of the Premier Volleyball League together. So once again, for our volleyball scientist, Coach Santi Edralin, I'm Anton Ross saying thank you all for watching, and we'll see you guys again next time.
Thank you for watching Volleyball DNA. Make sure you hit the subscribe button to get notified for future episodes and interview highlights.
And while you're at it, head over to our Facebook page by clicking on the link in the description.